It was DJ Gary. We back again. Hope you guys enjoying the holidays. I'm posting a little too excessively, but sometimes I see things and I kind of gotta go for them. So be sure you like this video, comment, subscribe, most of all share. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this 7K subs at least, kind of like winging it, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about the Luther Vandross documentary that came on CNN uh, early New Year's. That was about last night. Um, the documentary Luther Vandross, let me just say this. Stellar job. Stellar job. You know, Luther Vandross, like, when you speak of Luther Vandross, like, I always hear never too much. I always hear um, whenever I hear those Chic records, I always hear Luther Vandross in the background. Um, you know, watching the documentary, seeing the roots of where he came from, uh, how he started out, you know, what his what he became. Uh, he set the bar for the background singers because really background singers, um, the background singers, the one who's dominating the game. If you want to talk about 60s or so from the Motown lane, we're gonna go with the Dantes, Sweet Inspirations. Um, it was mostly women dominated. We could say the originals. The originals was on Motown. They was doing their thing. They was singing on everybody records. Um, sometimes the Pips was sing, but you know, the Supremes. Um, but as far as session work, those other two I named it. Background singers never really got respect like they was supposed to be, getting. I think Stevie Wonder was like probably like one of the first ones to really give a background singer the freedom to kind of do riffs and be free in the background like what he did with Denise Williams, Minnie Riperton, uh, Shirley Brewer, Sarita Wright, all these um, women singers, um, and I think it's a tremendous difference because Luther Vandross being a man, he himself took the background thing and really catapulted the thing and became his own artist. Like he was that good to the point where Roberta Flack said, "Hey, I think you should be doing your own thing. I'm gonna fire you right now. Go get a career." And Luther Vandross was a talented artist. I mean, he comes from Sesame Street, doing jingles. I mean, just a phenom, and he wanted to write and produce his own records. So he really he really defined what an artist could do. I mean, nobody had a voice like Luther. I mean, having a voice like Luther Vandross, a signature voice. You talking about signature? That was a signature, and and when he covered everybody's record, he put his own thing on it. Like I remember listening to the Never Too Much album and heard "A House Is Not a Home," and I had no idea that was a Dionne Warwick song. Majority of those songs, except for like "If This World Was Mine," I always knew that was like a Motown song. But all the other ones, I mean, his versions of "I Think I'm Going Out of My Head" by Lil Anthony Imperials is just fantastic. Um, the the documentary really painted him just a human who was really trying to, how can I say this, trying to like not only make people happy but also find a lane to make himself happy, and he strived to achieve that, but he couldn't really achieve it because there was a part of him that was sad. um, you know, that was the unfortunate thing of Luther Vandross. Um, he had his own thing. Food was his comfort, and so he went to the food. Um, you know, uh, it's interesting. They they didn't really get too deep into the pettyism of Luther, like when he was petty towards In Vogue, um, and he was very like very like competitive and stuff like that towards um, certain artists that they didn't really like shine light on that. They just kept it really like Luther, in his domain. Um, you know what? It was funny. There's a couple of parts in there that was funny when they showed the Eddie Murphy clip from Delirious, and then on stage Luther answered back to that. he brought out he brought out the Kentucky Fried Chicken prop on stage. Answered Eddie Murphy. That was literally one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life because I had never knew that Luther Vandross answered Eddie Murphy. He took it. He took that comedy bit and he ran with that and put it put it somewhere else. Hey, that's that Aries, man. That's that Aries coming out. They both Aries now. They both Aries, but I think Luther is just a different type of Aries. He's like he really like the first male diva per se, right? So I really enjoyed the documentary. Um, that part when it was like they show like people were saying like he had AIDS and stuff, and I mean that was just crazy. And he was hurt behind that. That showed his how hurt he could be by his stuff. And then there was that song that he was singing. They showed, and it was kind of like he was basically saying he was basically saying to the world, "Hey, you know, I'm trapped in this uh, persona, trapped in the closet, and he trying to come out that." It reminded me of Freddie Mercury when he did when with Queen when he did the song "I Want to Break Free" and "Under Pressure." Like those were kind of like low key, uh, like gay anthems. Like he trying to like come out, but it's so like if you didn't know, you would miss it, right? But yeah. So and he couldn't find his person to love or whatever. Now, uh, I'm not for gossip or anything, but I've read a couple of things in the past. I don't know. Maybe somebody could be in the comment section. I heard something like he was linked to Paul Whitfield, the actor Paul Whitfield. Uh, Whitfield or Winfield, whatever. Uh, Let me know in the comment section how if that's true or not. And then there's a few things. Somebody was saying like the person who's running the estate, his friend, was his actual lover or whatever. I don't know how true that is. Um, but I mean, hey, who knows? I ain't for the gossip, but it would be interesting. And that's no smut, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to come on this channel and say anything crazy, you know what I'm saying, in the comment section. But other than that, I like the documentary. I think everybody should see it. Everybody needs some Luther Vandross music in their life. Exceptional singer, exceptional artist. I can see why. I can see why. Um, Michael Jackson will want Luther Vandross to be, um, performing at his event. I could see why. Because nobody could really sing like Luther. It would be impossible. Um, and I think for Luther Vandross, he died pretty early. 54 years old. I remember when he died exactly. I was in the living room when it came on TV, and it was like uh, singer songwriter Luther Vandross died, and I was like, what? Like crazy. Uh, but my favorite album by Luther Vandross is definitely Never Too Much. The ending of it was pretty sad, though. Like how his assistant was saying how they found him, and he was like, um, he wasn't, he was just, he had the stroke, and I was like, man, like, um, how long was he in that room? Like that's crazy. Like nobody was like, hey, we haven't heard from Luther in so long, and like I was just like, damn, like how many days was he sitting, laying there, had the stroke? I mean, that's crazy. Um, and the diabetes thing. Um, that was a heavy one too, because diabetes affect everybody, and diabetes goes like top tier um, in the black community, and so this shedded light on that. Most of all, he was diabetic. Um, the part where they showed um, the car accident. Now, why they did not get the guy's brother who was involved in the car accident, who's in the car with Luther Vandross? Why they didn't get him? What was his name? Jimmy uh, something. Sullen or something like that. He was on Star Search, and the thing about they was wrapping up the album, and they was like Luther was like, hey, let's go to dinner, and then they went to dinner, and on their way, that's when the car accident happened. And what I find interesting is that the um, the guy actually, the guy's brother um, uh, that died, people were making speculations about that or whatever. Him and Luther had some, I don't know. But Jimmy, he actually have a video, and he talked about the situation, what happened, and he's actually a singer, and he his album came out and all that, and wasn't the family was like hurt, like they like, man, we love Luther hurt, Luther, our son died as a result, our other son is messed up. And then they turned around, they was like, they doubled back and said, you know what, let me sue Luther for this money right here. And they sued Luther, and then Luther ended up paying the money. I thought that was kind of crazy, right? Because, but I don't know, whatever. They didn't show that, so which I find that's kind of interesting, because that was like a big part that was missing. They didn't go into the details, because I think for the details, that would have been even more um, tied thing. Like, oh, okay, he probably felt even more hurt that the family was like, hey, you know, let's sue him. Let's, we wasn't gonna sue Luther. Let's double back and sue him. So I think, I don't know if that's cut out of the, if that's gonna be in the DVD format or what. But that's interesting to see, or to check out. Uh, um, Overall, the documentary is good. I think it's one of the best documentaries to open 2025. And they showed his funeral service. Ooh, Luther, like, it. It's crazy. Stevie Wonder is literally at everybody's funeral in the industry. He attended everybody's funeral. He knew everybody. Everybody is dead. Stevie Wonder went to their funeral. Basically, he is like literally, like, that's like one of the most saddest things. Like, all his friends is dead, and he attended every last one of their funerals. Crazy. Um, what else? Like I said, I say the documentary is good. Um, there's probably like a little more they left out, but they just kind of want to leave it. Yeah, I'm surprised El DeBarge wasn't in there because DeBarge and Luther were kind of tight. They were kind of tight, and they were on tour together. And the deal was on tour with Luther Vandross back in the day. So like 85, 1985. So I'm surprised they didn't bring that because I believe Babyface could have had put something in there. But I get it. They wanted to make it strictly Luther. No. Um, they didn't want no. They didn't want to make it a celebrity thing, uh, and that could be particularly because everybody want to get paid, or it could have been people was off doing their own thing, and Mariah Carey was like, oh yeah, Luther, hey, yeah, that's her Aries brother right there. So of course she got to show up to show out. So, but I thought that was a pretty good thing. Mariah Carey was in there. Um, so yeah. Um, so rest in peace, Luther Vandross. I'm glad they opened it with this. Uh, you know, I believe this could have easily went to HBO or FX. I think I went to like FX, HBO. We might have got a little bit more, like it probably been a little bit more theatrical. But uh, who knows, right? And yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm done rambling. You know, whatever I said about the gossip. If you know anything about whatever, let's put that in the comment section. Um, thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. It's your boy DJ Gary. I'm out.